Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another video for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It is once again time for another monthly update, and this time round there's actually a fair bit of cool stuff to talk about. If you saw my last video or the last update from October, then you'll already know that as part of their plans to ensure that the game can be ready in December, they're rolling out updates almost exclusively to the test server over the next few weeks, giving people a chance to test a whole manner of new things. Vaulting being one of the main new and long-awaited additions, but also new weapons, UI changes, tweaks to balancing, optimization, and very soon, the next map. So as always, I want to put together a video to quickly recap what's currently happening and talk about some of the new stuff currently available in the test server. If you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to comment down below and let me know if you guys have any questions. Now, to begin with, before we dive into the test server details, let's talk very quickly about the new map. Nvidia shared a few screenshots the other day of the second map due to be added to the game in the big December update. This is the desert map, a much more barren landscape than the map that we're used to right now. However, having seen the general layout, we do still know that there will be a couple of big city-like locations that offer the more focused combat opportunities, high vantage points, dense areas, that sort of stuff. And while we still don't have a date for it just yet, since the testing process changes on a weekly basis, it is still their intention to deploy this on the test server at some point during the final phases to give players a chance to try that out. So I imagine that'll be within the next few weeks. So I will say, if you play this on PC and don't have a test server installed, it's probably worth your time to get that set up just in case, because then you can try it for yourself. But either way, they were just a few quick shots to give you an idea of some of the gameplay opportunities, lots of open sightlines and barren landscapes, and considerably fewer trees to hide and duck behind if you're going to be shot out in the open. So good luck with that, I guess. However, moving back to talk about the here and the now, the most recent test session has given us quite a bit of stuff to play with. Vaulting and climbing is in, now giving you the option to actively climb onto or vault over a large number of objects. This also allows you to dive through windows, more smoothly climb over walls, all of this stuff just helping to make the whole experience a little less clunky. True, some of the climbing animations are a tad slow, but all up, it's just nice not to have to worry about perfectly timing a jump to get over a small wall or pulling off a shifty crouch jump to get out of a window on the second floor. When it was first introduced, it was, for the first day, just available on solo servers, but now it's available in squads, so jump in and give it a test yourself. And if you've already tried it, what do you guys think? Are you happy with how it functions? Are there tweaks you'd still like to see? Either way, let me know. On the optimization front, they've made some improvements to character animations, introduced LODs to further optimize weapon rendering for long distances. They've optimized various world effects, UI elements, and the sea by removing some of the waves. Plus, they've decreased the terrain loading time and also the memory usage on characters. However, moving on from there to talk about the actual gameplay changes. First up, here are a couple of images to show you how they've changed the hit damage zones on the player models. Hands and feet have had reduced hit damage, meanwhile thighs and arms have had their hit damage bumped up. So I will say, if you're hiding behind trees from, say, a sniper, you definitely want to make extra sure that you are properly hidden. Additionally, this chart shows the weapon damage by archetype or class. As always, I've linked all the relevant posts down below, so if you do want to dig a little bit deeper and study these yourself, then you can do so. In addition to that, the healing period for bandages has been reduced to 4.5 seconds from the previous 8.5 seconds, but the casting time and the amount of health restored still remain the same. The 15x zoom scope has had markings added for zeroing distance. There's a new 4x reticle for weapons that use 7.62 rounds. There's a new 4x reticle for snipers and SMGs. There's also a blur effect present around the edges of the scopes, and also, rather interestingly, red dot sights. You can now use the mouse wheel to toggle the intensity of the dots. Bullets can now penetrate water based on the projectile's velocity. The firing rate of the SKS and the Mini 14 have been decreased, and it's now just as fast to run with a DMR in hand as it is an assault rifle. Also, the recoil for the MK14 has been decreased, and the 8x and 15x scopes now cannot be attached to the M16A. On the topic of new weapons though, two new weapons are available. The first one is the DP28, and this is a weapon that can spawn in the world and doesn't have to be found from a crate. It's an LMG that takes 7.62 rounds. You can attach various sights to it, including a 4x scope, and while the fire rate is a little bit low, it does have a long effective range, and it's also super stable and pretty effective if you decide to single shot it instead. Plus, there's a bipod on the end which seems to unfold when you go prone, which is pretty cool. So here's a quick sample of it firing.
The other way around, to be honest.
Oh shit.
It's just me, I just need to fire a few bullets.
That sounded
Before you die.
Dirty round to the north. Bye, give me a sunny pam. Whoa!
The other weapon comes from a crate, and that is the AUG or the AUG A3. This one is a variant of the bullpup assault rifles that uses 5.56mm rounds, and it has a high muzzle velocity with a high rate of fire and low vertical recoil. Sadly, I didn't get to use this one too much in combat since I met my demise shortly after getting it, but once again, here's a quick sample of it being fired.
Hey Nacho, what's up?
Oh, back to get my M16.
You guys need to heal up.
Now, that's pretty much it for the gameplay side of things at the moment, at least until they introduce the new map. So moving on from there, a quick note on UI and UX changes. There's a new font, plus the overall HUD has been updated too, the player list has been moved, and the players now have numbers and icons that appear over their heads, making it a little bit easier to track your team and see them on the minimap. Speaking of which, the minimap has been improved, the health bar has been updated to indicate the 75% point, and there's now a kill cam feature. It's disabled by default, so you will need to go to the settings and enable this if you want to use it. But with it enabled, once your entire team dies, you'll be able to watch your kill cam to see how you died. It is a little bit annoying that you can't just do it when you die, you have to wait for your entire team to wipe, but either way, it's the initial functionality. Then finally, on the sound side of things, there's some new and rather epic lobby music. The vehicle engine sounds have been improved. There's a new sound effect that plays at the edge of the blue zone. The red zone bombs now have a really intense explosive sound, and there's a new sound when your character jumps into the water. Besides that, however, there are a few notes on bug fixes and language changes, but if you want to read those, then you can check the blog post linked down below. For the time being, that's pretty much it. That's a glimpse of what's coming and what's currently been going on in the world of the test server. We don't have a date for the next update just yet, but I imagine that'll come in pretty soon. So until then, thank you very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.